Welcome back to IGN Live at E3 2017, presented by Omen by HP. I'm James Duggan, and here to give us an insight into esports and how it affects the world of AAA gaming is Tricia Sugita, head of partnerships for the esports franchise Immortals, and one of Forbes 30 Under 30 in Games CEO of the Immortals, Whinston. How's it going?
It's going great. Thanks so much for having us.
All right, so my very first question is about Overwatch. At BlizzCon 2016, Overwatch League was a pretty big deal, and we've seen the Overwatch esports scene kind of evolve and go through some different iterations, but a couple of franchises are dropping their teams. Where is your head at for the future of Overwatch esports?
We're still super bullish on the future of Overwatch esports. If you've been following the Immortals Overwatch team, you've seen not only have we kind of recommitted to our current roster, but we've actually started bringing over some talented youngsters from Korea to help supplement the talent that we already have. Our guys just moved into an awesome new team house in Redondo Beach. They're loving the California beach lifestyle.
Ooh, nice.
And we remain pretty convinced that Overwatch is going to be one of the top tier esports of the next generation.
If you had to give me just a really bullet-pointed list of what do you think Blizzard can do to maybe get some of these teams back on their side and ignite the esports scene for Overwatch, what do you think it is?
I think that dropping those rosters isn't necessarily an indication of lack of confidence in Overwatch, and maybe more an indication of lack of confidence in the rosters themselves. I think most of the teams with top-tier rosters are staying strong with them because they feel like there's a future in the game.
So we, of course, are at E3 2017, and anytime a new game is released, especially a competitive multiplayer one, there are always these esports aspirations. And a great example is Quake Champions, which announced a $1 million prize pool at QuakeCon. Is that enough of an incentive for someone like you to take it seriously and consider it an esport and consider getting a roster, or do you think that there needs to be viewership? What are the elements there?
Yeah, it's a good first step, but it's not the cart and the horse. So knowing that a publisher is committed to supporting an esports ecosystem, great first step, but we need to see the community there too.
Tricia, what do you think?
No, absolutely. I mean, we're all about supporting esports in general, but it has to make sense for our brand holistically and what we're trying to do.
All right, so if you had to put all the cards on the table and pick from what you've seen, not necessarily even at E3, the next major esport that has been announced but not released, what do you think it would be? Do you guys have any juicy predictions?
Before that last sentence, I would have said that Rocket League and their recent World Championships were really exciting, but announced but not released, Beyond Good and Evil 2 esports, maybe, but realistically more excited about looking at Nintendo's future in esports and thinking about how they could finally enter that scene in a big way.
Interesting. What from Nintendo's offerings do you think could be an esport?
I think the ideal esports are ones that are easy to understand at a basic level, but difficult to master. And I think titles like Super Smash Bros. Definitely fit within that wheelhouse. If you look at the top players, they're so far above the other levels of competition that you can clearly see how much it takes to truly master a game like that.
Sure. Let's talk about spectator modes and some other things. What do you think the top priorities for a game that is in development and wants to become an esport, what do you think absolutely needs to be there in both in terms of peripherals and viewership and a competitive scene and vibe? What do you think?
There's no set formula here, but I do think what's really important is making sure that there is a compelling spectating experience. You need to make sure that people aren't just participating in the game by playing it, but they also want to engage with it by watching it.
Sure. Tricia?
Yeah, to add on that, the spectator point of view is so important because you have casters coming out and promoting the game, and you have community figures already in other esports titles who get involved, such as Overwatch. When it was in beta, there were numerous tournaments that happened. So I think the most important is to make sure that publishers focus on the spectator point of view, and viewership will naturally follow.
Very interesting. All right, so on a personal note, you were recently sponsored by Omen by HP. What does that mean for the franchise of Immortals?
It's a really big step for us. I think we were really fortunate to find a partner like Omen by HP that displays such experience and mastery over the product in multiple different product verticals. It's been a really good boon for our guys and their practice environment, and we're looking forward to continuing to work with them.
Yeah, in addition to being our official hardware training sponsor, we're doing a holistic partnership where we're doing content for them. They're also supporting us when our players stream, because on top of full-time players, they also stream and make sure that our fans are engaged, happy to see what they do outside of their lives of scrims. And we're really excited. I mean, they're even here to support us, and that shows how dedicated they are to Immortals, and we're super happy.
Great. What are some upcoming events that we can see Immortals at, and where can people go to watch?
Well, we're playing every week in the North American LCS and League of Legends. Our Counter-Strike guys are taking it to DreamHack Summer in Sweden this weekend, and our Overwatch guys are competing in Overwatch Contenders starting Sunday, so Immortals is going to be all over the map this weekend.
Tricia, thank you so much for taking the time to talk us through esports and AAA gaming. IGN Live at E3 continues in just a second.